Hi guys, it's your friendly neighborhood space station crew member, Brandon. Welcome to today's episode of the Plain Donuts podcast, where I'm the guest. Yay!
Okay.
We did it! Alright.
Hey!
Get that little dainty golf clap in there.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Plain Donuts podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve.
I'm your other co-host, Alicia. Oh, wow, that was bad. Sorry, gosh.
Try again, Alicia.
Yeah, I'm your other co-host, Alicia, in the morning.
Nice. And we have a guest here,
We do have a
Brandon
guest.
Garlik.
Hi!
Is that okay if that's how, I guess that we
Yeah.
posted your name like that on the internet.
That's how it's posted everywhere on the internet.
Okay, great.
And that's a cool last name, by the way.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
like,
It's-
Senor Garlic.
Okay.
It is definitely unique.
It's so unique.
So unique.
It's not very Utah unique, is it? I feel like I know other garlics, but maybe I don't.
We
I
are
do
spread
know
out a little in the Utah area, in northern Utah. But
Do you
not
know
much.
someone named Jenna?
I don't.
Okay, then you're not related.
Well, it's possible we're related. My grandpa had a lot of brothers and sisters, but I don't know them. I just know my immediate family.
That's all right. Sorry, that's just got super Utah niche-y.
Yeah. We are a Utah-based podcast.
So, Brandon, before we get started with the regular thing, would you like to tell us quickly, or however long you want, what exactly it is you do?
Sure.
Or do you want me to do it?
You
do it.
Okay,
You do it.
I'll do it. Maybe it's more interesting if you do it. People
It might
hear
be
me say
interesting for you.
it. Yeah, I
I'm
wonder
going to
what
make an
people...
executive decision that Brandon.
Oh, darn!
will
I was
do.
wanting to see how other people
If you're
saw my
listening to
job.
this podcast, you can later tell us what you think Brandon does.
Yeah, you can pause it and then write in the comments
Yeah.
what you think.
No, I work with Shonduras, Sean McBride, on his YouTube channel. I am an editor. I'm a personality. I appear also on the Space Station Stuff channel, and yeah,
Nice.
that's it in a nutshell.
And you went to school originally for film, right?
Film and media art. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Awesome.
Super cool. I
Yeah.
just think that's a cool job. Like, your job is to do those things.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like one of the reasons I thought it's weird. I have a friend who sort of grew up next to Sean or near Sean in the same neighborhood, and so he just mentioned, "Oh yeah, this guy near me does YouTube and like makes a living off of it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Who is it?" And so
Yeah.
I started looking into Sean and like the space station and all that stuff, and I was like, "Man, it's so close. We could easily get somebody
Yeah.
from there
Oh,
on the
yeah.
podcast."
Yeah.
And
Local
like
celeb.
and the reason to do that is because it's so interesting. Like, not a lot of people have that job. You know
No,
what I mean?
that's true. I mean, it's even... I've known Sean... We went to elementary school together, so I've known Sean for years and years, and so just even when he started up, just on his Snapchat, we're seeing him having all this success, it's just kind of like, how is Sean McBride? You know, I remember Sean in elementary school, that little guy. What's he doing? How is he making money at Disney and stuff like that on
Yeah.
Snapchat of all platforms?
Yeah.
That's so cool, and that's kind of been a trend I've noticed recently with guests that we've had. People who are like up and coming like content creators or artists or just people doing really cool things.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had someone who does another podcast. We've had an author. We've had another YouTube person. So it's just been really cool to interview all these different people and just hear their perspectives and ask them questions.
I think you're the very first, like, actual stranger we've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, compared to...
Well, I'm glad to be the first.
I appreciate
I'm a
that.
first something.
Yeah.
We're actually super stoked about it. I am, anyway.
I am too.
I don't know. I was excited when, like, you responded. I was like, what?
And I was like, Steve, you gotta
So-
slide into his DMs.
Oh, no. And then later I did.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh no, this is not gonna work out. I had doubts, but here we are.
We're here.
So we're all together.
Anyway, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Appreciate
invitation.
Yeah, we're baffled and very excited.
We are in awe.
So normally what we do to start out is just talk about how our week has been going. Since you weren't here last week, you could elaborate more if you want to.
I'll be the peanut gallery. While this happens.
But yeah, you're welcome to tell our audience how your week's been going. Or
as much or as little as you'd like to share.
Okay. So for me, or do you want to start? You're welcome to. Hey, Alicia, how's your week been?
That's how Steve usually has to get me to talk about my week, because I feel like it's usually kind of boring, but this week, I don't know, I was very, go-getter, and, I'm gonna work out really hard and exercise a lot this week. So I ran several miles this week, and we went to we hiked up Bonneville Shoreline Trail up in the Weber area, and went up to the waterfall, which is really pretty. So it was really nice. And then I didn't sleep at all last night, and I was like, "Body, why? I want to sleep. I want to be fresh and ready to ask questions on the podcast and not feel like such a crazy manic person." But here we are. I got a little nap today. So, nice. And I don't know, just weird insomnia habits occasionally pop up. But yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah,
how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling a little ooh, but I had a green tea latte from Starbucks.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good.
Those are really tasty.
I gotta ride that high for just a little bit longer.
Nice. I won't try to keep you too late after we're done. My week was actually really good. The most interesting thing that happened is that I got this stupid cold yesterday and the day before, and so I've been fighting it all day. I was like the first guest on the podcast that isn't just my friend who I could be like, let's reschedule. I'm sure you would have been fine but I was and then I have this terrible cold. So
and Steve's really fighting it too. Beads of sweat are literally dripping down his face.
Don't describe it. It's disgusting.
I can see it building up.
Oh, man.
Dripping into his teeth.
You need to get closer to the microphone for that. Just yes, that's the beads of sweat.
Yeah.
Glistening
the
down his forehead.
Sounding kind of like a romance novel.
I know. That's kind of why I leaned back.
A little sensual there.
Awkward.
There's a vein throbbing strongly on his forehead. Anyway, sorry. I took that further than it needed to go. So yeah, I've been fighting it all day. I'm fairly highly medicated right now, so not with anything illegal. Just over-the-counter cold medicine. Yeah.
And I can confirm I've seen him pop several halls.
Yeah.
So.
Just popping it.
Oh, man. I'm really...
I joked we were going to get a mirror out. We're going to crush it up. Just going to have a Halls party. Happy Halls days.
Oh, man.
Happy Halls.
So weird. So anyway, last night, this isn't really that interesting, but I decided to go on a night run because I've been watching Terrace House, which is this Japanese reality show on Netflix, and it's all in Japanese with subtitles, and my wife is like, "Why are you watching this?" And I'm like, "It's very interesting." Anyway, they went on a night run, and I was like, I could probably do that. Nobody can really see you at night, because that's my whole thing. I've always run on my treadmill because I don't want people to have to witness this guy rolling down the road.
Literally, you're doing it wrong. You have to use your legs. You don't somersault.
Oh shoot! I thought I've been training for a Kirby marathon, which is where you just roll the whole way. No. So I went on a night run thinking it would help clear my stuff out, and then I took a shower last night, and I got out of the shower, and I just was like, "Oh no, I have the chills and stuff."
No.
So, and then I made an "Hey Jonathan" video about how I was dying. So, Hey Jonathan is this dumb character I made up.
It's really funny. He's just that Snapchat filter with a huge mouth. Oh my gosh, cracks me up. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Steve's friend. It really is funny.
You can find that on the Steve Matney YouTube channel. That's dumb. Although you could if you wanted to. So that was really weird, subtle. No, seriously, no. Check out my YouTube channel. No, So yeah, how has your life been, Mr. Garlik?
It's been fine. Just similar to Alicia, I just haven't had a lot of sleep this week. Actually, I don't know if it was just needing to get things done or whatnot, but
there seems to have been a running theme on the vlogs that you have been pulling overnighters at this space station.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's just you get going and you don't realize it until you're done, but it's 6 o'clock in the morning and just maybe I should.
Do you have little hammocks or beds there that you can take a
No,
little
we
nap?
need one. I keep telling Sean that I'm going to buy a hammock, and he says, or not a hammock, but a cot. And he's like, no, we're going to get a love sack at some point. So I'm like, oh, okay. But who knows if that'll ever.
A love sack is a little more casual.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have beds available, like at Google, then it's sort of like your office is expecting you to be there at the times that you would be sleeping. Yeah. And so I'm like, that's very devious of you to be like, perk, nap time. Yeah, and they're at like, nap time actually when you're done with your work at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I would fall for that. I would 100% just live there. All of a sudden, like, I don't pay rent anymore. I just live at Google.
I've repeated this story like a zillion times, but I heard this story on NPR a few years ago about how they did a study of people working like crazy hours, like 80 plus hours a week or whatever. And it was really interesting to me because at the time I was working like crazy hours. But they said that after about, I think it was 2 or 3 years of that kind of steady schedule, your quality of work doesn't necessarily go down, but your ethical decision making starts to like sort of shave away, right? So you make like poorer decisions in terms of morality after that level of working. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm old enough now that hopefully I don't have to do that. But who knows? Yeah. I feel like an old man sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, so I hope you get more sleep soon.
Hey, thanks. Me too. Yeah. I could use it.
You want me to send you home with some NyQuil?
No, I'm all right. I think my natural body just being asleep or wanting sleep, the need for sleep. There we go.
Yeah. Yes,
we'll take care of.
Oh man, that sounds like a really good video game.
Need for sleep.
Need for sleep.
It's like Need for Speed, but like lame. Yeah. You just take naps. You like. The character just goes from like bed to bed.
Yeah, you have to go from point A to point B.
Yeah. I feel like you could actually make that really. Now that I think about it, you could make it super interesting if you had a mechanic where your exhaustion was like slowly wearing on you, and you would eventually just completely fall asleep if you don't like fill that bar. You know what I mean? So you'd have to run from point to point before you actually fell asleep.
And it's actually in VR. And it's actually a Black Mirror episode. So if you don't get to the bed in time, you actually die in real life. You die
in real life. Nice.
Whoa.
Welcome to the Plain Donuts podcast. We're really good at ideas.
Yeah, you're welcome, Black Mirror, for that episode idea.
I mean, we've named our salaries before.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm worth exactly 50 cents.
Come on, I would value you higher than that.
How high would you value me, Steve? Give me a salary.
I have this idea that someday I'll be rich. I don't think that it may or may not come true. I have no idea, but the idea is that I would be rich and that anybody I hire would just be people that I know who need jobs, and I would pay them all the same salary, including me, $100,000. And in Utah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'd work for you at that.
Yeah.
See, can we become friends, Steve, so that when you get rich?
Hey,
we have a new co-host for the Plain Donuts podcast.
Sean, you better step your game.
Yeah. Better get to step in if you want a bag. Called out.
No. But no, just because, like, I mean, maybe at a certain point I would have to put out, like, classified ads, and at that point you have to start, like, you can't, it's weird. The way the laws work, you can't just be like, oh, I put out an ad and then hired my friend for that job at way higher salary, because then that's nepotism. But if you don't like advertise the position and you just say, I'm hiring you, then it's not nepotism. It's really weird. I don't know why I know anything about that. Yeah. But anyway. So yeah, $100,000.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to say about recent times?
How about that news media?
Oh, no. Jeez. We can get into some of that if we want to, actually.
Cool. We're good. We're here to have fun. We don't want to be sad.
One of the questions is sort of leading in that direction, because it's the way that the news media and YouTube have been kind of fighting lately.
Yeah, people are curious. It's been kind of a little crazy. At least I don't know. I follow like a fair amount of YouTubers, and everyone seems to kind of be talking about the same thing, you know, like demonetization of videos and like all this crazy stuff.
Why? I've been thinking about this since you got here today. Why are you and me so hyper aware of like internet trends? I don't know why. Like,
we're internet people, Steve.
I guess so. We're millennials.
Or I have to. Whoa. Well, my job kind of has to rely on knowing what's the trend in the interwebs,
and I'm just
I buy the things online.
I'm kind of just a student of it, I guess, because it's not really necessary for me to know for my job. Anyway, Cool. So then we have a bunch of questions. Did you have any questions from your avenues?
My avenues? I think my avenues were clear.
Yeah. My avenues are clear.
I have clear avenues.
Let's double check the Plain Donuts page. So the way this works is we always ask for questions on our social media pages. So your Plain Donuts on Twitter or just the Plain Donuts podcast on Facebook. And then if you respond through those channels, we'll probably answer you first. Because we don't get enough questions right now to really like weed any out. So you just happen to get, well, sometimes we just don't get to all of them. So if you go there, you're more likely to get your questions answered.
If you go there and say first,
yeah,
we'll probably read that.
And we'll congratulate you.
Good job.
So I have a bunch of questions on my Facebook page. In fact, some really good ones that I'm stoked to ask. The first question was from my friend Rory, who traditionally has been a troll of this podcast, but today asked
He did ask a really good question.
A very thoughtful question that I was like, this is awesome. Thank you, Rory. I appreciate your change in mindset. Anyway.
Don't scare him away. He's acting nice to us now.
It's like when the bully from the playground starts like being your friend.
And you're like, why is this? What's happening?
I don't know what's happening, but I'm okay with this. I think I'm okay with this. No. He says that we should ask you about like growing a YouTube channel and also how you feel being financially connected to a platform that's constantly changing its policies and how that may impact you as a creator. So I guess that's sort of 3 questions.
Yeah.
I had another question that was a little bit more specific about growing a YouTube channel from my friend Sean. He said, what are some initial hurdles small channels have to scaling their videos and how do you overcome them? So yeah, a couple of questions about growth first off. I know that the Shonduras vlog just recently reached 1 million, right?
Yep.
And right around the same time, the space station stuff, a million subs on YouTube is I guess I should clarify that, and 100,000 subs on the space station stuff too, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really nice. It was really awesome. It was a big milestone for us. I really should put out there that I wasn't around when we were growing this channel.
Uh-huh.
It had already been quite established when I joined the Space Station crew. So I might not be able to address fully those questions about growing a channel or starting a channel. But I can throw out some little tidbits that I've learned in my time here.
Sure. So that question about like initial hurdles might be like...
Yeah, I mean, the hardest thing about, I think, starting a channel really is... You have to think about it is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of channels that are trying to get out there,
right,
that are starting up every day. And so it really is just finding your niche, being dedicated to it, going out there, putting out a video. I don't know if you want to do it every day, but pretty consistently, and just learning the system, learning the YouTube algorithm, learning how to work it in your favor, and then just, making a voice for yourself. And I mean, it might not happen, it might not take off the way you want it to, but just being random or just hoping for luck. Yeah. It works for some people, but that's a very small percentage.
So I guess to sort of put in a box what you said, find a niche and be consistent with producing content in that niche. And find your voice therein. Right?
Exactly.
And I think that's something that Friday mentioned too.
Yeah.
Because he does motorcycle vlogs, so he's, I don't know, his is very like cinematic motorcycle vlogs, and that's like all he does. And you guys kind of do like this really fun. Yeah. I don't know. I really like watching your videos. It's like really fun. I don't know. It's just like watching your friends do silly things. Yeah. So I don't know. I just appreciate that.
And it kind of, it's nice for us because it means we can go into several different avenues. I mean, Sean and Parker both are big into skateboarding. Is really into computers. I'm really into video games and movies. Holiday's really big into business. So that's not fun at all, but that's really all I know that he liked. Anyway,
who's
Oh, I'm sorry. Chicken.
Tall Chicken.
I'm sorry. Every once in a while, his real name pops out. So if you would censor that.
Do you want me to censor it? Is that okay?
I mean, you can censor it. It'd be funny. Yeah. But,
I just didn't recognize. I was like, "Who's?"
I know.
You're saying names. I'm like, okay.
I was like, "Who's this random person?
Who is this guy?
Does he work in a closet?
And just in a corner.
alone in his computer closet.
He would actually probably be very content in a computer closet, just
awesome.
alone.
Yeah,
He is
that's funny.
a very funny guy like that.
I
But
think it's really interesting too, like how kind of widely varied the personalities of Space Station stuff is. Like in particular, you guys have like a lot of different like personalities that affect that. You know, like it's just I could go through a few of them and off the top of my head.
I think I can even just tell by the way like something is specifically like edited or laid out. You're like, oh, someone different did this rather than this.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, we try and have a consistent voice through it because it's Sean's channel, it is his voice. But there's definitely a unique flair if, say, Chicken edits the vlog versus Parker editing the vlog versus me editing the vlog.
So that's a good. You guys have 3 total editors.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Does Sean ever do any of his own editing?
As far as I know, no. He'll every once in a while he'll review the vlogs, right before they go up, and he'll make little tweaks himself and jump in there and make the edits that he's like, I want this cut here, and copy and paste this. Yeah. But no, for the most part, his job is to film and be the personality and connect with brands and connect with people, and our job is to make that look cool and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned that you haven't been with the space station through most of the growth, right?
Right.
How long ago did you start there?
I started working with Sean in August of 2016.
Okay, so like
last 7 months or so.
Yeah, like so still pretty recently.
Yeah. I was working on a side project for the first 3 months. So I wasn't in the space station often. That side project came to an end, and Sean was like, hey, you're a really good editor. You're creative. We're good friends. But like I said, we've known each other since elementary school. He's like, come be part of the crew. I was like, okay. So I came on board, and we found kind of a home for me there. And
that's awesome.
I've been in the space station ever since.
Is that how the crew of the space station has? It seems like everybody just knows Sean from somewhere.
No, that really is. We're all just different avenues of knowing Sean. We're all friends now, and it's actually kind of cool because there are 5 guys, like you said, with different personalities, but it's nothing clashes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it never has there been a point of, whoa, that got awkward, or stuff like that. We're all really good friends, and it's never weird, and it's fun, and
that's really good.
It makes the job really easy.
Yeah, especially, like, you guys are pushing out at least, is it 2 videos a day, or is it...
It depends, yeah. I mean, there are days during the week where we're pushing out 2 videos. We actually have just started a thing where we're going to try and live stream on a fairly regular basis. So, and this is an example for today, we had our Monday morning meeting this morning at 10, had to film part of the vlog, had to film a space station stuff video, get today's vlog up, and then do our live stream. So basically from 10 till 5:30, it was nonstop filming and editing and coming up with ideas and buying things and actually executing the ideas. Yeah. So it's getting pretty intense. It's getting fun, though.
Do you think that's going to be a strain on everyone's ability to keep it up? Or...
I mean... Possibly, I could
definitely. That's sort of like a negative.
Way to be
question.
a downer, Steve. Gosh.
No, I mean it's something we've talked about. It's like, this is kind of a high intensity pace we're doing right now, but we're gonna give it a try. It's nothing set in stone that this is now the way we're gonna be. It's we're exploring new avenues.
And, for sure.
And I think people sometimes don't realize too, like, it's a job, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You are doing a thing where you have to go in. You have a set amount of hours to like execute a project and make a video and do all these things. So you obviously have like, okay, I have to work from this time to this time, and like in between here, this is what we're doing, and so. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of work that goes
for sure. But it's also really chill, too, because it's not like you need to be in here at X amount of time. It's just, you need to have all your stuff done by this time, and whatever time that means you need to come in, then come in and take care of it.
That's pretty nice, because at least everyone, there's, like, accountability there, but it's not, like, super micromanage. You're like, no. Oh, I'm going to stand over your shoulder and watch you, like frame by frame on this video.
No, it's good. It's fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
To say the least.
It seems like just a pretty fun environment, but it's hard to tell, right? Like, because a lot of that is, a lot of times you can be different for a camera than you would be just in regular work. Yeah. Like, I'm sure when the camera's not there, you guys aren't like everybody yelling at it or whatever. No. You know what I mean? Not that's a weird way to describe your videos, but like,
I mean, everyone faces one direction at a time. Everyone's always got their face towards.
I kind of feel like with you guys doing the live streaming all together and stuff, you're sort of the One Direction of YouTube now.
Wow.
You heard it here first, everybody.
I don't know if I like that comparison. To be honest.
Yeah, especially because one of them's gonna break off and go solo.
I know.
Better not be the Zane of the group.
I know. Oh, I hope not. Who is going to be our Zane? I think it's going to be Chicken.
Oh no! You heard that here.
That's just my guess. I don't know. If that's right or not. I don't actually know who Zane is. I'm just going off of what Alicia.
Zane is the one that left and is actually making really good music. There are others that are making music, but not as good.
He's like the popular one. I think it's because he left first. That he now they're like, oh, he's the solo person now.
See the one with like the long like wavy hair.
You kind of.
I think that's Harry Styles.
Oh,
Zane's the one with like a really sharp. It looks like someone drew a line like directly on his scalp, like a very sharp like part.
Wow.
But his styles, I read a GQ article about Zane's style, and like it changes a lot. But he does sometimes have wavy hair. But he's I don't know his ethnicity, but
I think he's like Syrian or something.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you could pretty easily point him out as being ethnically different from the others. To say that the most careful way possible.
What Steve means to say is the brown one. I'm just kidding. I can say that because I'm the brown one.
Because you're the brown one.
In this podcast group.
I know. Anyways, I feel like I had to, for some reason, like thread that needle.
Very like careful. I'm like watching you do
I
this.
tried to determine who they are by hair. Steve's over here like skin color. That's how Steve sees the world. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Steve's got nothing to say
racist.
after that.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about race right now. Not that I have like bad positions on it or anything. It's just that's not what this podcast is about.
We'll just take that and bury it in a box deep inside and never dig it up.
Yeah. So one thing that I did notice, so you've got sort of like this is sort of might be kind of a niche question, but you've got like Casey Neistat and Gary V that do, those guys are super popular vloggers, right? And they have sort of a very, Casey in particular has this very sort of like, I don't know exactly how to describe his style of vlog, but it's kind of like clean but dirty. You know what I mean? Like, or like dirty hip hop, because he's always got this trip hop stuff happening.
It's almost like a music video.
Yeah.
Without him singing.
Yeah. And
also it's like dirty with like 5 Ys afterwards. That kind
Yeah,
of sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
All right, I see what you're going
Yeah, no, but the Shonduras vlog is well, and then you could pull in PewDiePie too, because his editing style is so far different from those ones where like it's just all the time with weird zooming and colors and then the Shonduras vlog is very different from those as well, right? Like it's sort of like its own. It sort of falls into the Gary V / Casey Neistat category, but it has its own feel to it. Some memes sometimes, you know, like all that kind of stuff. The reason I'm getting there is, or what I'm getting to is, how would you say that the value of standing out? How would you gauge that value, right?
Well, it definitely helps because, like you pointed out, some of the bigger names, Casey and PewDiePie. A lot of people, I think, are trying to mimic what those guys are doing. And while mimicking is, how's the quote go, it's the highest degree.
Imitation is the best flattery.
Yeah, best form of flattery.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll get it together.
Together we did it.
Yeah. While it might be flattering, it's not unique. It's not new. It's not putting you on the map. And where we can kind of, I mean, we definitely have taken some elements from Casey's style and some other vlogger style where we have our own spin on it. Our unique personalities where we're not just one individual, we're a group of 5 guys. I mean, Sean definitely is the carry, but we've got, the whole crew plus Jenny and Adley and other side characters who pop up every once in a while. I think it helps us to stand out where people can go and say, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to get when I go to these guys versus some random channel. I
think it's interesting that you mentioned, like, I mean, they're people, but they're also sort of characters in the media, right? And that kind of thing I think is very helpful to have, like, running characters where your fans can go, oh, I remember that guy, you know, and I think that creates. Have you ever heard of the term the heroin effect?
Maybe not in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I worked in advertising, they talked about or in just like application design or web design or whatever, there's this heroin effect, meaning like your application or whatever it is draws people back to it regularly because they want to consistently use the product, right? So that's kind of your running characters sort of feed to the heroin effect of the Shonduras vlogs or the space station stuff videos, right? Because people are like, oh, my characters, they're back. I get to see what they're doing today. You know what I mean?
Daily dose of dopamine.
My millennial stories. Anyway, sorry for
that makes sense though. I mean, I think a prime example of that is Sean's sister, who the vlog knows is S'mores Troll. She rarely shows up, but when she does, it's like a huge thing. I mean, not necessarily a huge thing in the vlog, but a huge thing for our
for the core audience.
Yeah, for the audience. They're like, oh, S'mores Troll, you know, she's back, she's so funny, she's hot, you know, and stuff like that. The comments just blow up, and it's like, she was in the vlog for, you know, it's a 10-minute vlog, and she was in there for like a minute and a half. And that's what everyone's talking about. So it's nice, it's fun.
Nice.
It's fun.
I had more questions about that, but they're gone.
If they come back,
okay, we can
read more questions.
Oh, so the next part of that question was, how do you feel personally, or has it come up in the space station about YouTube's financial woes currently, and how that may affect your livelihood? Have you guys thought about that much, or have you personally thought about that?
Not really. I mean, we're more focused like where YouTube's going to be its own thing. You know, YouTube's going to take care of itself. They've got Google watching over them as their mother overlord. We're more just concerned about taking care of us. So, I mean, should something happen where, you know, the monetization changes up to a point where we're not going to be able to sustain our way of living or our way of working, I guess is really the way of saying it. We're going to find other avenues. Sean's doing a lot of different things right now. We do a lot of brand deals.
Right.
For anyone who's watched the channel will know that we've got a lot of our fingers in a lot of different pies right now. As far as that, so we get that revenue, we get the video revenue. Plus, Sean's also moving into public speaking. He goes around the country doing that. So it's just, you know, if YouTube goes down the drain, then we've got something else to work on.
So, would you say that? Because there are a lot of creators out there, particularly on YouTube, who literally only live off ad revenue. Would you say that's unwise, or this is sort of like off the cuff. How do you feel about this?
I think it just depends on what their plan is. I mean, you've got those people out there that, like I was saying earlier, that just got really lucky and have just launched and are just doing crazy things. I mean, it doesn't matter what they put up there; they're getting millions of views.
Right.
Eventually, that's going to stop. I mean, eventually something's going to happen where people are just going to, I don't know if it's like just a mass.
That kind of happened a little bit already, too, with like the algorithm changed a little bit, and people were freaking out about that. I don't know, I just feel like every time YouTube changes one thing, you know, there's like always a wave of like hysteria immediately after that, and, you know, there was like a problem of, you know, videos being demonetized that didn't necessarily need to be, or should have been demonetized, and all that drama and stuff like that. But obviously YouTube will have to continue if advertisers want to put their stuff in front of people. So it's not ever going to end.
No,
so
it's just, I mean, it's probably going to be there for a long, long time. I mean, who knows when YouTube will stop, if ever. But it's just, I think it really is just comes down to you have to reinvent yourself and just find a way to stay relevant. If you don't do that, then I think you need to either do really well at saving or find another way of making money. That's just my gut reaction. I'm not an industry expert or anything like that, but, you know, this is my off-the-cuff thought.
We appreciate it. Like, I know that you're not necessarily the guy that has all of this knowledge or whatever, but definitely more than the average person probably just
and
being
it's like an interesting
in it,
perspective, too. Like, you have kind of an interesting role, and so, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to talk to you and, like, see how you view all of these things, so...
Hey, it's your boy Steve coming at you from the middle of the podcast. I should say your co-host Steve. I don't know why I've started adopting the ya boy moniker, but whatever. Hey, just wanted to step my foot in here and say we're super grateful for you listening. We really do appreciate it.
this podcast wouldn't be anything really without interaction from audience members like you, and especially without your listenership. So we really do appreciate it. You can find, obviously, this podcast and all of our other podcasts on yourplaindonuts.com. That's also where you'll be able to find links to the Shonduras YouTube channel and also the Space Station Stuff YouTube channel. And we'll also link to Brandon's Twitter account just so you can tweet at him with all your glory if you want to. I know he'll love that very much. Maybe. I don't know. Also, if I could just ask one favor, you can always find us on iTunes and leave a rating and review, and that helps us out quite a bit when it comes to just Apple's seeing our podcast. If we end up with those ratings and reviews there, Apple will say, oh, look, somebody likes this podcast. Maybe we should promote it through our channels of promotion through the podcasts on the iTunes page and that, or on the iTunes app and that kind of stuff. So, yes, please go and leave a rating and review there. More helpful would actually just to be to share this podcast with a friend. You could click on any of the links on yourplaindonuts.com to get a shareable URL. You can just copy and paste anywhere you want. So would love for you to do that with any or all of your friends. I would super appreciate it. And finally, we always ask the questions each week through our social media channels, which you can also find on yourplaindonuts.com. The easiest way to find those, we'll send a shout out for the topic that week for you to respond to through Twitter and Facebook. Those are always going to be the easiest ways for us to find your answers. And yeah, would love to hear your feedback and get your questions on the podcast. So I think that's it. I'm going to take some medicine and go to bed. So cool. Thanks again for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Not your Sean,
Oh,
but
okay.
one of our. You're like, what? Why is he asking questions?
Interestingly enough, speaking of Sean, he actually met
Our
you
Sean or
and
your Sean?
Sean at an event
Oh, yeah.
like last week or the week
Sean
before.
and Sean were together. Our
Yeah.
Sean and your Sean.
Oh, really?
They made a
I
video.
think it might have
like
been
a short
that
vlog thing.
social media event.
Yeah.
Oh, at the how was it? Social media marketing world,
Something.
Yeah, it might have been that.
something like
I
that
don't know.
in California, in San
Yeah.
Diego.
No, it was in
No?
Utah. I'm
Really?
pretty.
Utah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. in
I
Utah.
don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was in San
Who
Diego.
knows? Yeah, I kind of saw that. I was like, what? That's weird.
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
It was-
how did they meet each
Social
other?
marketing media world, social media
media.
marketing world, something like that.
I think it was-
SMSW.
I don't know.
That was in San Diego. So
What
if
was
it
the
there-
thing that was local that had Sean's face on a billboard?
Oh, he just spoke at Weber State. That may have been it.
I don't know.
He was at Weber State. Yeah, I saw some things for that, but all that to
Anyway, it's
say,
interesting.
Our
just-
Sean,
yeah,
asked
He met- he
Sean,
met.
or you.
yeah, and you
question.
guys like met. I could show you his face. You might even
I
remember.
might recognize him. Like I've said many times, I'm better.
Do you
with faces
recognize
than
that
names.
guy?
No,
That's okay.
I'm not good with that face apparently.
Yeah. Anyways, he asked a question: if you were to start a channel and you could only hire one person, what job would you hire them for and why?
Oh,
Ooh,
I thought that was such an
that's
interesting
a
question.
tricky question.
that
actually.
is a very tricky question.
It's like choose your best friend.
Oh, I know.
Screw the other guy.
Well, I don't have to choose which person to hire, right? I just need to choose.
No,
what they would
just the
do.
job. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably, almost like a creative consultant, I think is what I would have them do.
Yeah.
Because I personally don't like my ideas,
Oh.
which is really
Interesting.
strange. So I like to bounce them off of someone else and say, hey, is this actually a good idea? Or how can we make this idea better? So that's really probably what I would need someone most help with. I mean, I could take care of, if I were making my own channel, like, I could edit my own stuff and
You could do like the production.
yeah, I
or
could do
you
the
just need,
production.
like another person
but
to like
yeah,
bounce ideas.
yeah,
off of.
and have them in my videos as well. But that's just a side project. But yeah, no, just maybe a creative partner, a creative consultant.
That's so interesting. I think different like creators have different perspectives on that. It's interesting because a lot of times like artist type people you can put in the same categories, but in that category, in that way, I think it varies so widely.
Yeah.
Because like my wife is an artist and she like will not let anyone touch the idea, right? If you're like, what if you did this? She's like, no, that's stupid. I have the idea and I know what it is. You know what I mean? But like other people are like, oh, I want some feedback because I feel like it makes my ideas better.
Yeah.
It's just the type of person I think. It's really interesting. So this is another question from Cola, who's a previous guest on the podcast.
Hey.
She said, what content has been the most viral and were you surprised by which videos performed and which ones didn't?
I can't think of any specific ones at the moment. Maybe as I'm talking, it'll come up. But for our channel in particular, yes, there are episodes where we'll just be like, we don't have a theme today. We don't have anything cool going on. And those ones will just launch. And then we'll be like, okay, never mind. Today we're going here. We're going to do this awesome thing. We're going to have a great thumbnail. It's going to have a great title. Yeah. And it totally underperforms.
Yeah.
It's like, this wasn't actually a vlog that I was part of, but Sean, a couple of months ago, actually maybe close to a year now, filmed their whole vlog was just about the one wheels. But it wasn't that great of a vlog. It was kind of a long, dragged out vlog. But that one almost hit 1 million views. I mean, it just took off. Where other ones, like I've said, we're going to Atlantis. This is our surprise. And, only 80,000 people cared about it. So it's like,
people, I don't know, I guess people have like moods that they're, like
it's
YouTube
weird.
kind of switches around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How was the Atlantis trip?
It was pretty fun. It was a lot of time in the sun, which was nice. But no, overall it was amazing. It was a cool experience. A really big resort.
Yeah.
That was what I was kind of amazed at, is even though there were a lot of people there, just the fact that it was so big, I never felt crowded.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like, you go to Disneyland, and it's like, oh man, the crowds are just nuts.
Yeah.
Here, it was like, I want to go to the pool? Cool.
There's
here's
like
a chair.
5 people here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they've got enough variety, plus I guess the ocean helps too, that, you never felt crowded. And so that was actually a really cool...
I always see the commercials for that. It's like, join us in Atlantis.
Yeah.
And it has like the lady who like crosses her arms and goes down the long slide. Like every single time it's the
a fun
same
slide,
footage. I'm like, okay, I get it. I've seen the same video since I was like 10 years old. Like do you not have anything else?
The one cool thing I learned while we were there, when it like does that panning shot up to the hotel, to the resort, and there's this part of the building that's connecting the two. Mm-hmm. I always thought, oh, that's just a sky bridge.
Yeah.
No, that's a room.
Oh, really?
That is a room.
Wow.
Like,
that's crazy. Is that like the deluxe
They call it the Michael Jackson room.
What?
That's where he stayed when he went there.
Wow.
But it's like...
They like renamed it.
I guess. I don't know. But it's like $22,000 a night.
Wow.
What?
It's like,
That's
you have
crazy.
to be a mega star just to even spend
crazy.
one night there.
If like that's interesting to me to think about. Like if I was ultra rich, right? My first thought is not, I want to go where there's a bunch of other people and stay in a weird room in between 2 buildings.
Yeah.
Like that's not my first rich person thought.
Yeah.
My first rich person thought is, I bought Atlantis. It's mine now, and you all have to leave. So,
Where is it located?
It's in the Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
It's Nassau Island.
Oh, cool.
okay.
Yeah.
I remembered the question that I had before. So
Okay.
Can we shift back a little bit?
Yes.
No.
All right, never mind.
No. Speaking of YouTube income and that kind of thing, the vlogs and the space station stuff channel are both fairly family friendly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's really, I haven't seen much cussing.
There's no swears.
No swearing or anything like that. And obviously Shonduras is like a family man and has his wife and kid there and stuff. So, that to me that says, oh, the advertisers, nobody's going to be upset about these videos. Do you know if you guys have been hit with any of the demonetization stuff that's been happening?
Not as far as I know. Like you said, we are very family friendly. Yeah. We do that for multiple reasons. One, so we can appeal to more audiences.
Yeah.
We don't have parents, saying, "Oh no, you guys can't watch that because of the language." It is very, very appealing to advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the demonetizations or being hit with the age restrictions,
I would be really surprised if you guys were, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the only thing I could think of is that like you guys all got on those little drift cart things. We're shooting the darts with the balloon, like doing a Mario Kart balloon thing. And I was so scared that someone was gonna get hit in the eyeball with like a dart.
Yeah.
And like, because it's got like a tack at the end. I'm like, someone's gonna get hit in the eye, and it's gonna turn into like this weird like gore video. It's gonna surprise me. I don't know what I'm expecting. So I was like anxious the entire time, and I felt really stupid. Like at the end, I'm like, I was so anxious about this.
Although
nothing happened.
It has happened. I don't know if you saw the video where we were doing our first death darts, and I got shot in the finger. Yeah, and that was painful. Yeah. But yeah, no,
you took that super well.
Oh, thank you.
I would have just fainted. So.
You were very stoic getting hit with ping pong balls too.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really hurt.
Yeah.
That last one actually, that stung.
Yeah. It hit you right on the soft skin on the side.
Yeah. You could like hear it was like a very distinct
that one
stingy sound.
But I don't know, it just doesn't bother me that much, or I guess I just don't react too well. Yeah. I don't know, but like we did the shot collar thing too, where we went out in public with it, and Chicken and Pookie are both like cranking up the amount that they're shocking me, and I'm just kind of just taking it. So
it's part of your character.
It's part of my character. I'll do anything. Yeah. I mean, I guess also another thing I would be that might, other than the death darts, would maybe be some of the crazy foods we eat.
Oh yeah.
And like chicken or holiday like dry heaving, just because they have weak stomachs.
Yeah.
So I could see that maybe getting hit, but yeah, for the most part, our channel is just, it's so tame compared to other things out there.
The reason I ask, like, I just wonder how YouTube is, like, how that suddenly happened. Like, a few days ago, a whole bunch of channels got, like, all these demonetizations with no ability to appeal, right? Suddenly. Yeah. And I'm like, did that maybe happen? Because I could see, like, just... I've been on Reddit. I know people randomly downvote things. So I can imagine, like...
Someone just randomly, like, report, just, like...
Well, it's possible. I mean, there is kind of a fickle system of like reporting people, but it's just kind of sometimes they tweak the algorithm and things change up, and you just can't really predict it. And that's part of the fun, but also part of the frustration of YouTube is like you can't really tell what's going to happen.
They're kind of like a do first, apologize later sort of thing. Like,
sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I noticed most of the demonetization was kind of happening to like videos specifically with like LGBTQ issues. Yeah. Or I think it was also it was like news channels reporting like certain things happening.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, this Nazi guy, and they like said Nazi, so obviously like, it's shut down. So I was like, this is kind of a weird system. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm not in the YouTube world at all, so I can't really speak to any of that.
I part of it also might just be, they were going for, because even those of us in the YouTube world don't always know what's happening at YouTube.
Because it seems like they don't say anything ever, so
we're a little bit in the dark too, but it's possible, like, while they're trying to implement a little bit more strict guidelines and policies, that the algorithm may have taken it just a little too far, and they're just kind of needing to reel it back in and work out some of the kinks and the bugs in that system.
Right.
So.
Yes, I was just curious, because I'm like, to me, I'm like, is it just happening to videos that get flagged? Because it seems like any large channel is going to get a bunch of flags just from people who, that for some reason, don't feel like they have anything better to do. Yeah. But
which they exist.
Yeah. Cool. So I have more questions that are YouTube related. My friend Aldo said, it's very different and hard to do a video a day. How does that balance out for you versus doing non-daily videos? I mean, you guys have 3 editors, so it's got to be a little bit like...
It's nice in the fact that we have 3 editors. I know it's a strain on Sean. I mean, he loves doing it, but there are days where, everyone would like a day off.
Yeah.
And technically, Sean hasn't had a day off in over a year just doing the daily vlogs. So, it's kind of a balancing act of just, making sure. And that's part of why we try and make content that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, it is work, and we're having to do these things, but at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean... Somebody had their armpit waxed. I don't know how much you can enjoy that.
That was so funny.
You guys go through a lot of pain for the Space Station stuff videos.
When I saw that too, because they mentioned before, like, if it's like super runny, and I like knew that, and it was so watery. I'm like, he's gonna just burn his armpit. Like, that's so mean. So,
But you gotta he gave a great reaction, so
Yeah,
we liked it.
yeah, he's screaming. I was like, oh, Shirley.
And Chicken really is, that was the perfect person to have that happen to, because he is the loudest individual.
His voice is, and
he
it's
carries forever.
It's so funny. I can imagine him yelling in my head right now.
Make that your ringtone.
So, I've heard differing opinions about daily vlogging. Like some people are like, this will really launch you, right? Some people are like, you do a daily vlog, and if you're just consistent with it, you will grow an audience. Whether it's huge or not, it doesn't matter. You'll grow an audience, right? And I've also heard that it can be a huge strain on your personal life, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how that balance happens with the Shonduras channel, or like that's more of sort of a personal question for Sean than you really, but
are you saying like the balance of him working or him making the daily vlog versus not making the daily vlog?
No, the balance of like making sure to not have to have some like personal life that isn't just the vlog. You know what I mean?
Right. I think part of that balance helps out is he films at home, so he'll bring his personal life into the vlog, but then he can also turn off the camera and he's back at home. It's not like everything has to happen at the space station, so he's got to be there from ridiculously early until late at night just to make sure we capture everything cool that happens. He's able to, and where he's incorporated a lot of his family, like his sister, his parents. So Shonduras is a well-known character on our channels. So I think that definitely helps him balance. Traveling doesn't help the balance at all. Yeah. But it's not a forever thing, and But I mean, and he's got a crazy good attitude about it too. So
I think knowing the bit that I do know about Sean's personality, if anyone could be successful at that, just mostly because of his like extreme positivity, it's kind of him, right? And it seems like he loves his family so much that he wouldn't let something hurt that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it can be done.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely takes a unique individual to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something everyone could do, but more power to them if they want to try.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing about daily vlogs too, is you can kind of scale back.
Yeah.
Like if you so choose, you know, like it's real life, so there's stuff happening all the time, so you don't necessarily have to like document every single hour of your day.
Right.
Right.
And it's also nice, at least with Sean, where we've got people around him. There have been days where we take it over. Like when Sean went up camping with his dad. I mean, there were days it was Parker and Chicken, and then Holiday and Jenny, and then me. And so there were 3 days where he could go on a vacation, and it was a much needed rest that he needed. So, yeah, that definitely helps.
So I think the last question we had from the audience was, there's another question about the emotions as you grow, but since you haven't been around through all the growth, it's a little bit of a weird question that you probably wouldn't be able to answer.
No, probably not. Sorry.
The last question was, what are your long-term goals, YouTube and creativity-wise? And I would caveat that maybe with both the space station and personally. I'm gonna find a tissue.
As far as I know, our long-term goals are just to keep on trugging on, doing what we're doing. Trudging, not trugging. That's, as far as I know, not a word. Trudging on.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Like I said earlier, we've got some other things in the works: public speaking, consulting, working with brands. So if the YouTube thing slows down, then we'll probably hop off of it, or at least not the daily side of it, but still stay there making videos, but just shift our focus a little bit. I think, as far as I know, that's the plan for the Shonduras vlog. Probably the same thing for the space station stuff. Just, it's going to keep going along until people don't like it anymore, and then we'll just shift away from it.
Sure.
Personally, my goals, I really haven't looked long term. Just it's still new enough that it's like I'm just trying to get everything, set and underneath me and getting it good, and then I think I'll look ahead a little bit from there.
Sure. Yeah. So coming into coming fresh into something like this, where, like, to me. Sorry, the problems that you run into when you're a large channel are exactly because you're a large channel, right? Like, how do you manage the scale of everything, and do you have to be careful, like making sure that something doesn't get read the wrong way and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean we definitely have to try and be careful. We have the understanding though that there's no way to make everyone happy. I mean,
Sure.
there's always going to be someone who is like, oh, I can't believe you guys did this, or I can't believe this was said, and we just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt that there was no malicious intent meant. Anyway, no malicious intent,
Right.
and so we just have to realize, that's kind of our realization is that we're just doing this for us. We hope that other people enjoy it, and we're just gonna go from there. If they don't enjoy it, peace unto you. But
Yeah.
have go somewhere else.
Have there been any negative reactions that have sort of gotten out of hand to a degree? So I haven't heard of any drama with the channel or anything like that, but I'm curious if you guys have experienced anything, given that size, that was sort of like, oh man, this is bigger than we anticipated or whatever.
No, I think it helped coming from. So Sean's started on Snapchat and then transitioned over to YouTube, so he already kind of had the following coming into YouTube, and so he kind of knew his people. People knew him, and there wasn't anything that too drastically or dramatically happened.
Sure.
So I mean, like I've said, we've had complaints and stuff like that, but it's never been anything that's gotten way out of hand or blown up or anything like that.
That's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been really nice.
I mean, I know there are creators out there who don't want to do any kind of personal censoring or any, that just want to say what they want with as much edge as they want to, and there is an audience for that. But I think there's some advantage to having an eye for making sure that your stuff is family friendly. And I would say too, I thought of this earlier, but when we say family friendly, it's not like a kids channel.
Yeah.
No.
I watched any of the videos and been like, oh, this is not for me.
Well, even when you were doing your like AMA, you're getting questions from all different people, all over the world, all ages. So you have like a wide audience.
And that's great. I mean, when we did a live stream, when was that? Anyway, we were going to do our 24-hour live stream, stay up until we hit 1 million, which was a horrible idea at the time. Or at the time, we thought it was great. In retrospect, I was like, we should have just done it for fun. But it was great because we started at like 4 in the afternoon, so we got a lot of engagement from people locally and in the U.S. But then that group went to sleep at about 2 or 3 in the morning, but we started getting a whole bunch of Europeans jumping in and being like, "Oh, hey, I never get to talk to you guys. You're always, asleep when we're awake. We're watching the vlog after it's been up for a few hours." So it was actually re-energizing and helped us go on for a little bit. But yeah, it's really cool just to see how many people our channel reaches and how many lives it affects.
Yeah,
really cool.
It's such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Really cool. I would wonder if because you're relatively new to it, have you had any surprising experiences personally due to the scale of it? Because for me, I'm like, you suddenly have quite a wide audience, that you maybe didn't have before.
No. I mean, one of those actually was the invitation to come here. To be honest, it's
really?
like who would want Brandon? I mean, I'm just a sub character in a vlog. I mean, they would want Sean or Chicken, someone who's been around for a long time. So it was actually really surprising and really flattering to get this invitation. So
cool.
I thank you guys for
High
that.
five.
Nice. I had been sort of tweeting at Sean a little bit, and when I started watching stuff, I was like, I think I really like that guy. I think him and I have a kind of kinship, right? And I think I even said something like that.
Yeah, you did. It's bearded people, I think, is what it was.
Yeah. So
I know. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Just try harder. On that over here. Do what you can, okay?
But I just wonder if that's flattering for me. We really don't have by comparison much of an audience at all.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you would find that flattering. I mean, you've been to our Twitter page. We have 17 followers or something.
Woo!
That doesn't speak to our downloads. We have at least 60 downloads a week.
Nice.
Yeah, we're doing really good.
Hey, you gotta get those downloads
It
over
is
to
hard. It's actually hard for a podcast though because there's no natural way to grow it.
Yeah.
You kind of have to just force yourself on people listen to us, and share and rate us on iTunes. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes 5 stars if you like us.
Well, it's a little true the same way with YouTube videos almost. I mean, you kind of have to collaborate with other people. That's a really big way of growing, and that's Sean something something that Sean has done, and kind of I've learned from him is you kind of collaborate with other people, widen your base, and just get your name out there.
Yeah. So the podcast started. We did something like in the teens or maybe early 20s of weeks, just the two of us, right? And I think that was really beneficial for us because like it helped us to find
like our rhythm.
Yeah.
At first we kind of were like, oh, I don't know, topics out of a bowl, which was fun, which was good. And I don't know, we kind of like hit a good stride of just being able to talk for long periods of time without stopping.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, that's kind of hard to do sometimes.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
But yeah, it was good. And it's just, I don't know, I've really enjoyed having guests of all types here just because I like making friends. And, I don't know, it's just cool. I like to talk to people who have totally different experiences than me. Just to, I don't know, get to know their process and what they're doing and, like, support each other and learn about everything.
Well, and even like you were saying, maybe just getting to know people and hearing all these different life experiences from people. I mean, the guy, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but the guy who does motorcycle...
Oh, Friday.
Friday, I mean, that's different for me. I love motorcycles, but I've never ridden one. So it's like, I'm sure his life experience is completely different from mine.
Yeah. His stuff is like...
His stuff is good.
Surprisingly good.
And he's such a cool person.
Man,
which sounds
so cool.
Such nerdy to me. I feel like I'm just always saying like, oh, he's so cool. But he is like a very level-headed, cool character.
Man, he ran into a guy in the woods that was crazy.
That was so crazy. And he kind of was like, I have a thing, if people come after me, I have ways of stopping them. Like, he's got a gun, he's gonna shoot you, dude. Get out of there. He's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
So
it was funny because I commented on that video and I was like, I kind of wanted you to ask that guy more questions. He's like, yeah, but it was sort of an awkward situation. I was like, I know. Like, you're alone in the middle of the woods and this guy just said he basically has guns.
Yeah. And he thinks you're a spy sent from them. I'm using quotes for them.
Anyway, sorry, we're very sidetracked.
But
we're fanboying about Friday.
No, we always do that. Gosh, we're such nerds. We have this other guest too. We're so rude. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Brenda's a very nice young man with a nice beard.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask how you ended up. I know you knew Sean when you guys were really little, right? Mm-hmm. How did that come about? You working with him initially?
So I had just graduated from college. My brother actually ran into Sean at a 4th of July event, and they were just chatting about things that's going on, about Sean's YouTube channel, and Sean mentioned to him that he's hiring people, that he's looking to expand and try some new things. And my brother said, Brandon just graduated. Do you want me to give him your number? Do you want to call him? It was kind of both. He said, yeah, I'll call him, and here's my number, and it hasn't changed. I don't remember exactly. And then, I just contacted Sean, and we just got together and chatted for a couple hours, saw what he was doing, what he was planning. I was like, yeah, I'll hop on board. And that's kind of how I came on. Like I said, I joined doing a side project, and then it transitioned into being part of the crew.
Is that side project public?
No.
Is it? Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Secret. Secret.
We don't talk about side projects.
Awesome. Oh, okay. Is
No.
Not speaking to anything specific, but is that another avenue for revenue for you guys to like do stuff? Because I know you have brand deals and stuff like that, but is there...
The first rule about the side project is
don't talk about the side project.
I'm sorry. If you can't say, that's
the original idea behind it was, yes, as another revenue source. It didn't pan out, and that's why it got shut down.
I see.
So that was the initial thought behind it.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's so interesting. I watched Sean's Draw My Life, which was just pinned on his page pinned. That's not the right word. It was on the Shonduras
Spacestation.
Yeah, featured is the word. That's correct.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But he's been doing brand deals since like early on when Snapchat came about.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's a really it's a really cool way that you guys like have to keep the thing up. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool that brands are behind that kind of thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, and it's smart too, because I mean, anymore, the only way to get to someone is on the internet. I mean, really effectively is to advertise to them on the internet, and to see. I mean, back in the day, it was let's put a Coke can on the set of Friends, and everyone who watches Friends will drink Coke because everyone drinks Coke. Well, now you've got to go to an influencer on YouTube or
Yeah.
or you know someone playing games on Twitch or something like that. That's the way to do it. And so the smart ones are hitting the social media
Yeah.
world. So
I wonder how that, like, you mentioned a Coke can on Friends. I think that's really interesting because I think the rules now are like if a video is sponsored, you have to be super clear that the
Yeah.
video was sponsored.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can do like just random product placement, can you? Or is it?
I don't know. It's interesting because actually, and I'll just speak to this a little bit since we're kind of in like the advertising world.
Right.
Social advertising is actually very, very new. Like seeing ads in Instagram, seeing ads, you know, like within Facebook, you know, like the carousel ads and things like that. That's really, really new stuff. And it's growing like crazy fast. So I don't know. It's like, obviously, like native articles is one thing, you know, like where BuzzFeed does it all the time, right? They're like, oh, you know, this article is sponsored by paper towels, and they kind of do this thing. So you kind of have to be like that because that's how people will recognize it, because people won't recognize just product placement anymore because they're used to that. It's kind of noise at that point. Yeah. So you kind of have to be like, this is, look at my phone. It's a Samsung phone. Like you have to like really kind of like put it out there. So
Well, and you guys aren't like setting up scenes where you're like, oh, let's make sure to get this brand in the scene.
Yeah, we try and do it naturally. That's Sean's whole philosophy when it comes to brand deals. Let's do it be fun instead of being like, here's the vlog and then this is brought to you by and then continue on with the vlog. It's let's make the vlog about 5 Hour Energy or something like that, and make that the hero of the vlog. Make the brand the hero so they look cool and it's not in your face.
It's kind of
audience.
like a win-win for everybody too. And like, I don't know, I forgot what I was.
I can tell you this: ever since you guys been riding one wheels around, I'm like, I want to get one. That looks fun.
They're a blast. They suck if you fall off of them. But they are a blast.
No broken arms yet, though.
No broken arms.
Right.
A lot of road rash.
Yeah.
We actually filmed a video today. We were playing one wheel hockey.
Oh.
And I fell a little bit.
I think I noticed that earlier.
Yeah, I got just a little bit of
I saw that.
A little bit of road rash.
I saw it from afar.
The dog doesn't like the road rash. I know. I'm sorry. I'll put the road rash away.
Sorry, my dogs decided it was time to stop. It's so funny because this is a story about my dogs. The older one is really crabby and cranky, and when we got the younger dog, like she would always like kind of growl at her, and she snapped at her a couple times. And then she kind of grew up, and like now she gets mad at her when the old dog gets angry, and she's like, "No, you gotta stop it! You cannot be this angry!" And so she's like barking at her, like, "Stop it! You stop!" And it's really funny. They're cute dogs.
Policing each other.
Anyway,
this episode is sponsored by All Dogs.
#ad.
They're all great dogs, and they all deserve love. #adopt, don't shop.
they're all good. They're all good dogs, Brent.
I guess going back to sponsors, you get, and I think this is like a really wise thing to do, because you would never sponsor something or have it go with a brand that you don't believe in. So I think that's like something that people need to like be aware of, is people aren't just doing this just because like cash money, we need this cash. You're not just gonna be like, I'm gonna get out this flamethrower because I don't know, maybe being sponsored by a flamethrower would be cool.
I could see a flamethrower at the space station.
But
that's a whole video right in itself.
Or I guess Vicodin, that's a good one.
Okay, right.
Vicodin, flamethrowers are cool. Vicodin is good if you have surgery, but not for use outside of its prescribed ways. Anyways, like you wouldn't get just things that you don't.
Yeah,
right.
You can turn. Have you ever had to? Well, this might be more like personal thing, but like, have you ever had to say like, no, like we're not really about that.
As far
like if
as
Captain Morgan called you or something.
As far as I know, I don't know what company it was, and this was a little bit before my time. But there was one brand that approached us that was a beer And we're just like, you know what, that's just not our thing. We don't drink. So thanks, but no thanks. So, but that's the only instance that I've ever heard of or know about. For the most part, it's...
And that would be kind of interesting, too. It's like, these guys have never drank before on their videos. Let's have them work with us.
Right.
Like, as as an advertising person, like, that makes zero sense. Like, you don't go to an audience that would not be interested in that to try and work with them, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and I think, too, like, given the fact that your content has always been, like we've said a billion times, family friendly, like, if you started suddenly drinking beer on the vlog or something, people would be like, what's happening? You know?
Exactly.
It'd be a little confusing.
Yeah.
Like a new video comes out and it's like, Sean gets drunk for the first time, you know?
I mean, I guess in full disclosure, we have given his dogs dog beer, but as far as I know, that wasn't
about that.
As far as I know, it wasn't actually fermented. It was just called dog beer.
Because they have
Tastes
like
like
dog beer, and then they have like cat wine now.
Really?
Like drink wine with your cats, and like I think that's funny because like dogs get the beer because they're just chill, whatever, we're just bros. Cats get the wine.
They're painting of them playing
sophisticated.
poker.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Well, that's over an hour, so we don't want to keep you too long. I don't have a whole lot of more questions. I'm sure I could think
have
more.
One more question.
Sure, yeah.
Actually, have you ever gotten fan art of yourself? Have you received that yet?
Not alone fan art.
Okay.
Like
nothing like this
a
is
portrait
Brandon
or
and
anything like that.
Like an oil, a 12 by 12 oil painting.
I'm surprised at people that will do paintings and send them to us.
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually like of Sean, but I mean, people will pay. They'll do this. They'll make a piece of art and send it to us, and I'm impressed because first off, that's cool talent, but second off, that's really expensive in some regions. So
yeah, it can be expensive to like get a canvas and get all the paint you need and paint it.
Oil painting is like really pricey. So if someone's like doing fan art of oil paints, like props to you because you have a lot of talent, a lot of time. So.
Right. Well, not to mention that person's time is valuable, especially if they're a good artist.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like they're actually giving you something of value by doing this. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So
I guess when you said that, my mind instantly went to our fan mail, like our actual parcels we get in the mail.
Yeah.
I have had some really good fan art like posted on my Instagram and Twitter. People have tagged me.
Oh yeah.
So like I don't know if you guys saw this, but someone photoshopped me onto Hagrid.
Yes.
And it was amazing, and I retweeted it and everything.
It was really good.
But yeah, just a fan did it, and I was like, all right, cool. And I'll shout out to you.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
I'm waiting for Lin-Manuel Miranda to recognize my me photoshopping his face onto a centaur's body.
Yeah. So. That is a thing that we made once.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
It was powerful.
It's life changing.
I've never
You heard it
described
here.
that way. It's beautiful.
Powerful stuff. What about this is also kind of random. Fan fiction? Anybody ever write fan fiction about anyone?
Not that I'm aware of.
Fan fiction is like, because there's fan art, right?
Right.
Fan fiction is like a whole nother level of just like fandom.
I've seen in the comments people try and start kind of like a group. like one sentence at a time. Like, let's make a story with the space station crew. Sean walks into the space station and sees... And then it usually just crumbles, 2 or 3 comments afterwards into, be quiet.
Somebody starts
no one cares.
posting Pepe memes or something.
Yeah, something like
you're
that.
like, no.
So. Why all the Pepe? Anyway.
Yeah.
You mean you guys actually read the comments?
We reread every comment. Or at least Sean will read all the comments.
Really?
Sean goes through.
Crazy.
Sean is a big believer in fan interaction.
Yeah.
He's making this. Yes, he enjoys making this, but he's making it in the hopes that people like it as well.
Yeah.
So he'll go through and read and see what people like, what people dislike. He'll comment. He'll pin people's comments. He'll like them. He gets this little heart thing because it's his channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes through pretty religiously.
That's awesome.
And checks
That's cool.
it.
Yeah, I know Aaron from the Game Grumps doesn't read any comments, and he's very vocal about it. He's like, I don't need the comments. They're always toxic, and so it's really funny that like just the differing opinions there. The Game Grumps have a weird subset of their fan base that make all kinds of like risque art of them. I'm sure some fan fiction too
on Tumblr. It was to be fair, it was called soft like grump aesthetic, where they took quotes from Game Grumps and made them into like these weird like wallpapers you could put on your phones, like fancy, like a beach with like the quote like over the waves or something. And then it got kind of weird, like where they mixed because the fan is like from Europe or like I don't know, Holland or something, and they have this weird like Eurovision competition, so they like started photoshopping them into like Eurovision, and then like photoshopping them with like Sonic the Hedgehog. It was weird. It got really weird. It like totally changed from like the original like we could just make these funny wallpapers until like now it's like really weird fan fiction with Sonic the Hedgehog, and I still follow it for some reason. So I
want to see that kind of weird trail for you someday, Brandon.
I thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that.
What would be something that you would just like love to get? It's like if someone were to like write fan fiction about
fan art is one of Alicia's kinks.
I love looking at fan art because people come up with the funniest things, and sometimes it's like really weird, but it's like really well made too. So you're like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Sorry, the kink thing is sort of an inside joke. Yeah. We started a hashtag not my kink a while back. Yeah. So anyway, it's not literally one of her kinks.
No. Sorry. I honestly don't know. I think I would just be more honored that someone just sent something specifically to me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
all right, Steve, we gotta get working on this like 300-page novel.
Yeah.
Wow. A big collab.
Yeah. And then it will be like read live. We'll like live stream like us reading the novel.
Wow.
It'll be like really avant-garde.
Yeah, very, very heady. The main character will be named Bragrid.
There you go.
Bragrid Onion.
Yeah. Close, but yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Excuse me. So I know you're working with Sean now. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about like maybe someday you'll start your own channel or something like that? Off, just ride this wave until you can get your own off.
Like, peace out, guys.
Maybe. I haven't really given it a lot of thought. I don't know what I would do if I did my own channel. I don't know if I would do a vlog style or if I would, maybe try and go a completely different route where I make just short videos, or maybe a video game thing. I mean, I know that's kind of a thing that's out there now, but who knows? In 5 years, maybe there'll be a completely different trend that I'll be like, yeah, I think this is something I can do good on.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's just
enjoy the ride.
Exactly. I'm learning a lot and I'm having fun.
And I guess you're still like super new. It hasn't
been a year.
So
curious. let me formulate a sentence.
Okay.
Curious.
We have been talking for almost an hour, so it's okay that you're kind of getting.
And so still sweating all over.
Is there? I'm actually.
It's the sweat. It's just the sweat is seeping through the fabric of his shirt.
I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
I can't get that close to the mic. I was fretting.
It's okay. I got really close to it once, and it's super loud when you do that. I liked it a lot. I was curious. I was curious to know. That's right. Sorry.
No, you
got sidetracked by my sweat.
So did we.
With Sean, like if you were like, hey, I kind of have some ideas that I want to flesh out on my own channel, and just in my free time or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is there any kind of tension there around that kind of thing with the Shonduras stuff, or would he feel strange about that at all? Or?
I don't think he would feel too strange about it. I think he would want to be involved in it.
Yeah.
But he's always pushing for everyone to be, as creative as they possibly can. I think he would actually encourage it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've never been around when something like that's happened. I don't know exactly what his response would be, but just from our conversations, from working with him, from knowing him, I don't think it would ever get to the awkward stage. I mean, as long as it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to do this passion project, it's going to be all me, and I quit. That would probably get weird.
Yeah.
But if it was just I have this idea, I want to give it a shot. What do you think? I think he would be on board and would want to help out.
It seems like the environment that you guys have going on right now, seems to really kind of, I guess, breed that sort of creative energy and collaboration, just your own ideas are it's great, plant that seed and grow that, and go as far as you can. So
Exactly.
I can't imagine anyone being like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You bury that deep inside. Like, you don't pull that out ever again.
So far, it's never been anything like that. But yeah, I think, I mean, on a smaller scale, people have kind of gone off on their own. Parker, on a daily basis, or mostly on a daily basis, tries to live stream on his Instagram. He does a thing called Daily Doodle. We got these books where they've got like just random squiggles, and then you're supposed to draw something out of it.
Cool.
And he'll go online and he'll just have Pandora
cool.
music playing in the background and chat with people while he draws, and it's kind of turned into this really fun, unique thing that he does, and Sean's totally on board with it, but it doesn't interfere with anything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe someday Parker will make he'll be the Bob Ross of YouTube.
Anyway, I'd watch you talk
Yeah.
about video games.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Let's Plays anyway, so I don't know. Well, cool. I think that's it. We could probably chat for longer, but I don't. This is about as long as they normally go.
Yeah,
So.
we probably shouldn't keep our, audience who can pause this and resume at any time waiting too much longer.
But yeah, get some sleep, guys.
Yeah.
Holy
Hey,
crap,
thanks.
both
Get
of you.
feeling better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're in such a
We're
state
just
of
both
disarray
like,
tonight.
Although we kept the energy pretty high. It must have been all that halls we sniffed.
I know.
So,
Well, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
again.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you for the
joining us.
invitation.
anyways,
Okay.
This is Plain Donuts Podcast. I'm your co-host Alicia.
That's our guest, Brandon.
Bye.
And I'm your co-host, Steve.
Thanks,
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye.